we were on the internet. We came across this transgender advocate and athlete. I don't know what that H stands for. I haven't watched this yet. It's 2 years old, but this whole boys and girls locker rooms and men being housed with women in prisons in California, it's fascinating. And I'm just trying to figure out how we got here. I came across this. I have no idea what this is. But it looks like he is for men competing as women. Maybe he's for making a new league, like a transgender league? No, I don't. Let's find out.
Baylor. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the first transgender athlete to compete for a Division I men's team in college. I swam all 4 years on the men's team at Harvard, and I'm also an advocate for inclusion.
Honestly, I can't believe that I'm here today
to share what it means to be transgender, what it's like to be a transgender athlete.
An athlete?
There is so much misinformation and disinformation, propaganda, lies about trans athletes in sports, and we're going to try to dispel a few of those today.
Okay, good. Please.
A lot of people say things like, if we let them do this, then a man is going to pretend to be a woman so that he can win women's sports. And I don't want that to happen. No man trying to boost his ego or feel better about himself is going to think that he's going to do that by winning women's sports. I mean, do people know anything about toxic masculinity? If you are afraid of cisgender men masquerading as women to win women's sports, you are afraid of cisgender men, not trans women. Now I know what you're thinking.
She has bigger lungs, bigger arms, bigger hands, and now she's competing against women who don't have that.
The first thing I want you to recognize is that biological diversity exists everywhere, within every demographic, including within cisgender women and cisgender men. When biological differences exist within the men's category, we usually celebrate these things. In fact, we almost always do.
Michael Phelps stands 6'4" with an enormous wingspan of 6'7".
12-inch handspan is big for someone 10 feet tall. When Henry gets in the open field, he can build up the same momentum as a wrecking ball, swinging at about 5 miles per hour.
It's all adoration. It is all celebration. But when we look at the women's category, these biological differences are not always celebrated, especially when a woman does not fit what people think, quote, a woman should look like, what her body should be, how it should perform.
Scoring that they have given to Biles undervalues her signature moves, which no other gymnast has ever performed before.
There's this bias there against her.
You are too masculine. You are too strong.
Caster Semenya, she's being punished for being too fast and not conforming to Western standards of what a female athlete should look like.
Especially when a woman is black or brown.
She made history when she won 21 Grand Slams, her 6th at Wimbledon, but people didn't seem to notice that. They seemed to notice her shape.
Referred to Serena and Sister Venus as the Williams brothers.
Essentially racist tropes to depict Serena Williams.
Or maybe also transgender.
CC Telfer is a very large human being. How tall do you think this person is? Closing in on 6 feet, probably? CC Telfer won the women's 400-meter hurdles at the NCAA Division II championship. I wonder why.
These attacks are actually riddled with racism, with transphobia, with sexism, and with misogyny. A lot of people say that banning trans girls from girls' sport is about protecting girls, but is it? No. The reality is that when you try to exclude transgender girls from girls' sport, you have to know which ones are trans, which means you have to test them. And most states are proposing genital testing, gender verification tests, and body examinations. At what point is a girl too tall to be accused of being not girl enough, to be accused of being transgender? At what point is a girl too strong, or her hands too big, or her look too masculine, whatever that means? At what point is a girl too good to be accused of being transgender? What's happening is we are legally enforcing what a girl's body can look like and how a girl's body can perform in order for her to play sports. This legal enforcement of policing of girls' bodies is what will destroy the women's category, not the inclusion of transgender girls.
field?
Lots of people who claim to care about fairness in women's sports never watch the WNBA, don't care about the pay gap between women athletes and men athletes, and are doing nothing to stop the sexual assault of women athletes around the world. There are so many different things that threaten women's athletes and women's category, but the inclusion of transgender women is not one of them. And here's the thing they don't want you to know. People in power are fear-mongering. They are using propaganda, and they are trying to sway people like you. People who care about women's sports, people who care about feminism, about equality. They think that they can sway you because they think that if we use this feminist argument about, quote, protecting women, that you'll think that you're doing the right thing. But the reality is that if you want to protect women, you need to protect all women, transgender women included. I want you to remember, above everything, that we are real people, that trans athletes are real people, that trans kids are real kids with human emotions just like you. The amount of vitriol and hatred and unkindness I've seen at trans athletes is unbelievable. And the thing is, when we try to dehumanize someone else, the person's humanity that's lost is our own, not that other person. When you try to dehumanize trans athletes by calling them horrible names, by telling them that they're destroying women's category, you are the one who loses your humanity, not us.
Student relief bill plan, whatever paperwork, you know, all the schools getting paid for. Do we pay for, does Harvard get paid by the taxpayer? Probably not, right? Anyway, I didn't know that. I thought Leah Thomas was the first one to swim. Alright, look. I'm speechless. I don't hate anybody, but a boy has an advantage over a girl when it comes to sports. I'm not lying. We gotta go.